Have you ever felt that you had to be perfect with your fitness? Like, unless you're just going 100%, then you're going to fail. Well, I'm going to talk about that today and why that's a dangerous mindset to get into. So get ready, strap in for episode 197. Let's go.
The future of fitness.
How do you gain muscle mass?
Fitness is not complicated. It's simple when you break it down.
There's so much information out there.
No fads, no diets, just plain simple habits.
You're listening to the Bones to Bulk podcast.
Hey, welcome to today's episode. My name is Brian Parody, and I will be your host today. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. So glad to have you here. For my return listeners, thank you for coming back. It means the world to me. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas. Crazy to think that we are just a few days away from the new year. And I'll have one episode before the new year coming out on Thursday, so I'll wait to talk more about that till then. But crazy. What a year it has been. And this has probably been a year where we haven't hit 100% with our fitness. If there's any year that it's been a struggle to stay on track, it's probably been this year. And I kind of want to dive into the whole mentality of, having to be perfect and working through your mess ups, because fitness, like anything, is a very up and down thing. One day we can be crushing it and killing it, and the next can be a disaster. And it can be hard to find the balance as to, how much is too much, how much is not enough, how do I keep from losing my mind and still enjoy life, but not sabotage everything I'm doing. Sabotage. I don't know why sabotage is such a fun word. Everything that you're working towards. So first off, if you're trying and you're making steps, props to you. Because think about what things would be like if you weren't. I don't know where you are on your journey, but the fact that you've decided to start that journey in the first place is a huge step that you need to be aware of and just recognize, like, hey, I'm making steps. And maybe those steps aren't as long as you would like them to be. Maybe you're making extremely slow progress, but you're still making progress. And if you're not making progress, it's a telltale sign that you just need to change some things up. It's not a sign that things are failing or that you can't hit your goals or anything like that. It's just, okay, this isn't working. So what do I do now? Think of maybe a job you've had or schoolwork or, a relationship issue. When something doesn't work, it's always a stop sign. It just stops you in your tracks and you're like, okay, what the hell's going on? This is not working. How do I make it work? And it allows us to kind of take a step back and to focus on ourselves more. Because what happens is we get into this steamroll mode where we're just going to do this and do this and do this and do this. And sometimes we don't even look up to see if what we're doing is making a difference. And that's why I'm always encouraging, take measurements. Don't just weigh yourself on the scale, because the scale is not always a direct reflection of your progress. Take your measurement, your chest, your thighs, your biceps, your neck, your shoulders, everything, your waist. Measure it so that you can track progress and see maybe, your body is transforming even though the scale is not changing. And, I did a video the other day, or I guess it was a few weeks ago, and it was about how we think that, we see somebody who's fit or healthy or is into the healthy lifestyle. We think that, man, they're just on their game 100% of the time. They're always killing it. They're always crushing it. Guess what? No, they're not. There's nobody who is perfect with their workouts, who is perfect with their nutrition. Everybody struggles. Everybody has bad days. I definitely do. Last night was a perfect example. I was sitting on the couch. I was messing around on my phone, talking to some people, had something on the TV in the background, and we have this jar of Andy's mints in the cabinet in the kitchen, and they were calling my name. I just wanted to grab that canister and down every last one in there, which would not have been a good idea because there's a lot of them in there. And I didn't. I went and I got my yogurt with my protein powder in it and had my normal snack. And that's not to say, oh, good job, Brian, because there's a lot of nights when I don't pick the right option. There's a lot of nights where I do go for something I shouldn't, where I do have a glass of whiskey and some ice cream or a snack or some cookies or whatever it is. Because let's be honest, it's not always easy. And that doesn't mean that I don't enjoy eating healthy, because I really do. It's not that I'm like, oh God, I gotta eat this crappy food. And no, I really do enjoy eating healthy. I love the way it makes me feel, but that twinge of, I want something sweet, I want something bad for me, comes out. And it may not come out all the time, but it definitely does come out. And nighttime is always worse because we've gone through the whole day. How many times have you waken up and you've just been on fire that morning? You're like, this is going to be my day. I'm going to hit every single goal plus some. I'm just gonna, go. And then 8 o'clock hits at night and you're like, holy crap, I'm done. I don't care about anything anymore. Screw all this. Screw my goals. I want to binge a show and whatever, watch Queen's Gambit again and eat whatever I want to eat. You know what I'm saying? It happens. It's real life. And I think the thing is not if you can ever, it's when and how much. And that's what really can either keep you on the right path or get you in trouble. Because, for instance, last night when I had that craving, one thing that I evaluated, I was like, okay, it's Tuesday. We're only a couple days in the week. I didn't eat good on Saturday. And it's only been a few days. I probably need to make the right decision tonight. Now, if it had been Thursday or Friday, I probably would have been like, it's close enough to cheat day. Why not? And so what I was basing it off of is how have I been the last few days? I've had a couple good days since my cheat day or my cheat meal, but have I really earned? And I'm not trying to say that you have to earn enjoying something. I don't mean to make this like a point system thing by any means, but for me personally, that's what helps me to determine I can allow myself some freedom tonight or I need to stick with my plan tonight. And I think that's a big thing to keep in mind and not to say if you get 4 days right, that means you get a cheat. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's not a point system. It's how do you feel you're doing? If you feel like you're doing a really good job and you're really craving something and you're just going to have something small, not go ape shit crazy, okay, why not? It's okay. We have to live life. We have to realize that we're human beings. We're not going to be perfect all the time with our diet, with our nutrition. One thing I like to say is 85% of the time, be on point. And then 15%, give yourself some grace. Give yourself some wiggle room, especially when you're starting off. When you're starting off, I think it should be even a little bit more wiggle room. But again, that also depends on your personality because, I train a lot of different people. Side note, if you're ever curious about my one-on-one training, you can email me at brian@bonestobulk.com. That's Brian with a Y. And I'd be happy to set up a free consult call with you to see if my training program is the right fit for you. But anyway, that's besides the point. Everybody's a little bit different. And with clients I train, some have to make that clean cut. I can't allow myself to cheat any, at least for, 4 to 6 to 8 weeks. I've got to stick to this 100% or I'm not going to. And then I have other people who, following that strict of a regimen, it would just be disastrous. So everybody's different in that. Your personality, if you're one of those all or nothing people or if you need the baby steps. Personally, I think you always should start with the baby steps, but I do get that sometimes you have to make that clean cut. I'll give you, for example, my wife is a very all or nothing person, and about, I don't know how many years it's been, 5 years now, maybe more. She was a big Diet Coke drinker, big Diet Coke drinker, a lot in a day. And my wife's extremely healthy, runs marathons, has done an Ironman, all that. So she knows all about health. It's not and Diet Coke was just a big, that one last thing she was holding on to. And she made the decision nope, I'm giving it up. And I'm like, well, don't you want to slowly ease off it? And she's like, no, because I won't do it. I've got to just make that clean cut. And she hasn't touched it since. And so, that wouldn't work for everybody. Some people have to do that. They have to make that clean cut. And for others, it's got to be a gradual, okay, I'm going to go from 3 to 2 a day. I'm going to go from 2 to 1 a day. I'm going to go from 1 a day to 3 a week and make those gradual baby steps. So I say all this to encourage you, to give you just don't beat yourself up when you do have one of those bad nights, one of those bad days. Recognize that, hey, you know what? I'm human. I screwed up and I need to get back on it tomorrow. Or maybe, it's early and you had something you should early in the morning. Hey, you know what? I still have the rest of the day to eat right, to make up for it, to work out. I'm going to make the most of it. Focus on the long picture, not the short term. Because what can happen is if we screw up and we do something bad, we eat, just crap all day long. Sometimes what we do is we get this thing in our head, I'm already on this downward spiral. I might as well just continue it for a couple more days before I get back on, my regimen. No, why? Okay, that one day happens. Cool. tomorrow is a new day. I hope this encourages you. I hope it helps you. Just don't get overwhelmed. Recognize that this is a long-term journey. And so what if you take 5 steps forward and 1 step back? That's still 4 steps forward. You know what I'm saying? I'm not encouraging you to do that, but I'm just saying like we shouldn't beat ourselves up and just down ourselves because we've messed up. So I hope you found this helpful. Remember, you can accomplish any goal you set your mind to. No roadblock is too big for you. You've got this.